Good morning. My name is Jay Shaw, and this is How the Media Affects People's Behavior in a Negative Way. So my research question is, does watching TV/social media outlets impact the behavior of people in a negative way? So my answer is, after my research is, TV/social media outlets do impact the behavior of people in a negative way. First, TV/social media can change nutritional patterns. Second, they have spread of false or misunderstood information. And third, they promote violence and items not suitable for everyone. So, nutritional and behavioral patterns. First, television and social media can contribute to eating disorders in teenage girls. Second, television takes away time from play and exercise activities, which relates to my third point, which is children who watch a lot of television are less physically fit and more likely to eat high-fat and high-energy snack foods. This is from the National Center for Biotechnology Information. So this is the obesity prevalence chart provided by Gatorade Sports Science Institute. As you can see, the number of hours as they increase for television and social media time, the prevalence of obesity also increases to almost 45% for boys and 30% for girls. Eating disorders in females. Young girls try to emulate the models on Instagram, Snapchat, and magazines such as The Cosmopolitan. As Oda Fermo-Lindholm talks in the TEDx Also Talk about how girls' confidence frequently drops in the preteen years, and instead of focusing on their knowledge, capabilities, and skills, they focus more on their appearance and weight. This can evoke a self-injurious behavior in the future. And now to one of my sources, which is Attitudes Towards Muslim Women in the West. Leila Abu-Luqa talks about how the media use her for viewers instead of actual knowledge, and also how media have morphed the definition of way, which caused her to have irrational and confusing behavior. As she says, her own experience of this was in the form of an avalanche of invitations to appear on news programs and at university and colleges. My second source was the historian as participant. The author, Arthur Schlesinger Jr., talks about how contemporary history, such as media, have led to documentary impoverishment. Media has a negative effect on the people's behavior because of the deceitful usage of media. And he says, ironically, the rise of contemporary history has doubtless contributed to the condition of documentary impoverishment. And together, they have spread of false and misunderstood information from media, which changes the view on subjects as seen in the historian as participant and the attitudes toward Muslim women in the West. And connected to my research question, this evokes a deceitful behavior from media and irritated behavior from both the authors. And last, media promotes violence and items not suitable for everyone. First, media advertisements promote bad items. Second, affluent models, actors, and actresses also promote these items. And lastly, there have been many incidents where people have copied violent acts from media. Model promotions. Kim Kardashian, a very famous model and an actor, had promoted a morning sickness drug called Dysphagus on a social media page without full consent and full details about the drug. This post was later removed by the Food and Drug Administration. But if this was on a smaller social media page and on a small scale, many would have taken this drug without knowing the full side effects, and may have led to harmful behavior in the future. Lastly, alcohol promotion. The CDC says more than 2,000 Americans die each year from acute alcohol intoxication. This is from the NBC News. As you can see, children can be enticed into drinking alcohol, which will lead to aggressive behavior in the future, and they may be one of the 2,000 Americans which will die in the future. And alcohol promotion also uses pictures such as these, which show strong men and women drink alcohol, and they will try to entice their viewers to drink. And this is a U.S. alcohol ad spend. As you can see, in 1971, there were only 9,303,000 people who 303,000 ad spending, and which is shown as by the Huffington Post. And now there's $542 million net in 2011. And there's also violence incidents. Violence incidents on media promote other violence acts. Also from the NBC News, they say a violent act shown on media has the probability to last 13 days in a viewer's mind. This incident incites at least 0.30 new incidents. So, my resolution. There should be only one main source of information where all the countries can work together on. This will improve relationships and stop any media companies from spreading false/injurious information. The same information can be transmitted into many different languages, which will help have a wider audience. Resolution continuation for the social media aspect. Many popular programs such as Nat Natty and PureSite PC lets parents have full control of their children's social media sites, which they can block chats, filter content, and more. There's also programs such as My Mobile Watchdog, which lets a parent monitor their whole child phone so they can have safe behavior in the future. Limitations. Not all countries would like to do this. Communist countries and democratic countries who have different ideals will usually not work well together. And also, there's loss of jobs. Many media companies will have to disband because of the contribution of all the media companies. And also, language barriers. There might be different languages which the information has to be transmitted to, and this may cause misunderstanding. And thank you.
All right. So let me ask you a few questions, Jay. All right. So what might be the real world implication? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ask you that. What would you do if you had more time on this research project?
If I had more time, I think I would research more on the limitation side of this project, because as I was researching, I had to change my resolution a lot because of the many limitations I had to have an almost perfect resolution. But if I had more time, yeah, I would focus more on the limitations aspect.
Okay. So, how valid and reliable are the sources you use, and how do you know?
I use the sources which I used were NBC News and media companies, and also from scientific journals and documentaries. And they were validated in the fact that they were done by professionals, and yeah, they were done by professionals.
Okay. Which ones didn't work?
Which ones didn't work? I think some YouTube videos which didn't actually provide two sides to the subject. They only focus on one negative side, which I didn't get the full story on.
Okay. All right, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you.